guys, Ryan the Nerd here, and Calgary Expo this year was beyond words. I have no words to describe what this year was like. Now, if you don't know what Calgary Expo, which I expect you not to know because most of you don't live where I live, Calgary Expo is basically a local Comic-Con where I live, and it's about 3 hours away from where I live, and it's held every year, and I went for my first time last year, which you can go check out my entire little vlog recap video of last year if you want to get a basic understanding of the whole Calgary Expo experience. But for this year, we actually went on the third day. So we went on the third day. We did not go on the first or second day. We actually arrived there a little bit late. So last year we arrived at the first day when it opened. But for this year, we actually just went on the third day because screw it, pretty much. So we missed the parade, which was canceled last year due to COVID and everything like that. So we didn't get to see that, which was, I was a little bit disappointed by that. But, so we went in there and, we got the usual stuff. We got our tickets, everything like that. And so this year was extremely special for me because I got to meet Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime, and we'll get to that later. But that's just basically the whole understanding of Calgary Expo. It's just a local Comic-Con that I'm going to go to every single year from now on. This is my second year, and if you can already tell from my overall enthusiasm, I'm very excited to talk about what I experienced over there. So, without further ado, let's get into the juicy bits. Alright, I'm giving you the main course right now. I'm not giving you any sides to draw out the runtime here. I'm jumping straight into the main course here. So, meeting Peter Cullen, what an experience that was. A little background, when I follow Calgary Expo on Instagram to get all their updates and everything like that. Long story short, I was going through who was going to be at the Expo this year, and when I saw Peter Cullen was going to be there, I was like, alright, I had this entire plan out in mind. I was like, alright, I'm going to get an autograph, I'm going to meet my childhood hero, and that was my plan for until I actually decided to go to Calgary Expo and meet him. So when we got there, we arrived about 10 a.m., which was, we woke up at like 7, so we got around the expo at 10. So we walked in there, usually it was crowded, like always, so we decided to go our main way into the main hall like last year, and then we moseyed our way over to the celebrity section where all the celebrities and voice actors would be there, so then people could line up and get their autographs. So we walked over there, and to our left, we saw Peter Cullen's booth where he was going to be sitting, and we looked over and he wasn't there, and we're like, where could he possibly be? So then we asked a couple of employees where he was, where he was going to be, and they were no help at all, which was awesome. So then we decided to go on the Calgary Expo website, which we should have done from the very start, but, we're not very smart at, expos and everything like that. So we went onto the website, we saw where he was, and he was kind of in this off section of the main hall, which was a half oval-shaped room outside of all the main booths and everything like that, which was basically just a half hallway where there was different rooms being connected into this main hall, which were basically just small little auditorium spaces. So we walked in there, and he was going to be at Hall H, I believe, so we got in line, paid for our ticket. Actually, I got my ticket paid. So I was standing in line for about 35 minutes before I actually got to meet him. I was shaking in my boots. I was like, all right, I'm going to meet my childhood hero, get an autograph. This is going to be awesome. So I was sitting there in the line waiting, and I looked at my ticket, and it said full Peter Cullen experience, and I did not know what that meant. And I was like, what does this mean? So apparently, according to my sister, my dad paid $200, this madman paid $200 for me to get an autograph with Peter Cullen, take a picture with him, and get a script of a line for him to record, and I get to keep it, which was absolutely mind-boggling. And I was like, what? I get to take a picture with him and an autograph and a voice recording? And it was absolutely amazing. And I'm not going to play the clip or anything. We'll get to that when we get to that. But my God, he said my name. He said my name. So, anyway, I want to get into the main details here. So we waited in line about 35 minutes. So it was time for people to take a picture with him. So I got in there. I want to say I was about fourth in line. So I got in there. And oh my God, it was like staring in the face of God. You have no idea. I saw him. I shook his hand and he said, "What's your name?" And I said, "My name is Riley." And he's like, "All right, Riley, let's take a picture." So I took a picture with him and that was amazing. And I shook his hand again and I said, "Thank you." And then we walked out to, get for something for him to sign. So I picked out this amazing G1 picture for him to sign, which was about $10, so I paid for that. Wait outside of the hall for people to get their autographs. So I went in line. I was about fourth yet again. I walked in there. He signed it, which was really cool. And then I pulled out my script, which was on a piece of paper. I pulled out my script, and he said the line. He said the line in his Optimus Prime voice, and here's the recording now.
"Riley, this is Optimus Prime. Transform and roll out."
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was tearing up when he did that. That was it was an experience. It was nirvana. Like, I have no idea how to describe what I was feeling in that moment, but just pure joy of meeting my childhood hero and him saying my name. And that is literally going to be like my lullaby when I go to sleep. I'm just going to be listening to that for 12 hours every night, and then I'll just sleep to sound like a baby. And that but enough joking aside, this was actually just one of the most joyful experiences I've ever had. I love going to Calgary Expo, just love seeing all the different cool stuff, but this was an experience to be behold, and I will forever remember it. And wow, here's a video of me showing the autograph here, where you can see his signature, and it is in a frame. We actually bought the frame from the expo, so I didn't have to carry it just with the actual photo. So we bought the frame for it, and they put a Fan Expo HQ sticker in the bottom right-hand corner there, so for everybody to know that this is an official Expo signature, so nobody can say that it isn't real. Anyway, after that we were done, that was an amazing. After that, the Expo was just great, but after meeting him, it was, wow, that was something. But we need to talk about the actual expo itself, so let's get into the expo, shall we? The expo this year was pretty much what was to expect from last year. Not that there wasn't anything cool like Peter Cullen or anything else like that. It was just, the basic stuff. But there was a little bit of a problem with the expo this year. It was just a minor nitpick that kind of ruined my experience of enjoying the whole entire thing, which was there was a lot more people this year than last year, because last year people were still COVID crazy about the whole thing, so there wasn't much people. But this year it was jam-packed. It was absolutely crazy. And that's why I couldn't get much footage and video, like photos and videos and everything like that to put in this video here, because there's so much people like getting in the way of my camera and everything like that. And also because I had to get really close to a booth to actually film and take pictures of everything like that. And there was just people constantly going past me, and I didn't want to stand in front of a booth and just record, and because people want to see the booths as well, so they don't want this tall lanky kid with his arms like 4 foot apart just taking a video awkwardly and then moving on. So I just kind of took small videos of the booths that I thought were cool, and then I would move on because I just wanted to make sure people would enjoy the expo as well. But even with me out recording videos and taking pictures and everything like that, if I just actually just wanted to look at something at a booth, I just was like very like, it's hard to explain, but I was like, I didn't want to be a nuisance to people. And because I was like, oh, let me look at this thing, and then I'll move aside for other people to come and pass me and everything like that. So I couldn't really get a whole like scope of how really cool all the stuff was, and all the Funko Pops were there and everything like that, and all the things that I kind of wanted to buy. I just kind of like skimmed past it and then wasn't making a full decision like last year, because we made several trips around the expo so that we actually got to decide what we actually wanted to buy and everything like that. This year was just completely move on to the next booth, move on to the next booth, move on to the next booth, and just look quick glances, and that was it. But that was just kind of a small nitpick. It didn't like affect my overall enjoyance of seeing all the cool stuff and everything like that. There was some really cool medieval stuff this year. Last year there was there were some medieval booths this year, last year, but this year they were going hog wild with all the medieval stuff. They had crazy swords, they had actual bows, there was medieval mugs and everything like that made out of wood. It was so cool looking. I just really overall enjoyed their overall booth experience. Didn't see much cool Funko Pops this year, except for this Breaking Bad Funko Pop, which was really cool. I really wanted to buy that, except for the price, $200 and something, which I am not paying for that. Because, I already spent $200 on Peter Cullen, so I just kind of took a quick picture, and then that was pretty much it. So it was still cool nonetheless, but there wasn't much anything that I was actually interested in buying, because Peter Cullen is pretty much the only thing that I actually wanted to see and buy and everything like that. So I'm not buying Peter Cullen, Jesus. Anyway. The expo this year was just really overall enjoyable, but it could have been a little bit better from an enjoyable standpoint. But there was some amazing cosplays this year, absolutely brilliant. There was a 15-foot cosplayer. I don't know the character's name. If somebody recognizes the character, please let me know in the comments, because that cosplay was absolutely nuts. And I'm surprised he didn't get heat stroke from standing outside, because it was like pretty hot outside. I'm pretty sure he couldn't get into the actual main hall, because there's no way that he could be able to fit in there. So he was probably just standing outside a little bit. But man, that was a really cool cosplay to see. Here's a picture of my dad with a Bob Ross, and apparently to the actual cosplayer, that's his actual hair that he styled to look like Bob Ross, which was really cool. And it got some really crazy, Legos as well. There was a really great Lego booth, in one of the separate halls as well, attached to the main hall as well. Really great Lego booths, Lego MOCs as well. We got the classic Soundwave and Starscream like last year. There was some Alien versus Predator, which was really cool to see. There was a Toothless one as well, which was really cool. My sister really enjoyed that. And there was this crazy Rogue One battle scene made out of Lego with like the AT-ATs and everything like that. That was really cool, but I couldn't get any footage of that because there were so many people crowding around that area taking videos and photos of it, because why wouldn't you take a photo or video of that crazy MOC? It was awesome. But I really wish I could kind of squeeze in there and take a little quick picture, but sad to say I missed up on that opportunity as well. But yeah, that overall separate hall was really cool, seeing all the different, they had cool animals there as well. They had a cat, which was really cool. Got to see a lot of Grogus walking around as well. Overall, just a really great, fantastic overall enjoyment. And speaking of Star Wars, there was also an R2-D2 that was roaming around as well. He was also pretty cool. But that was the main hall, and we went to the drawing hall, which was a separate building on its own, so we exited out there. Took us about 5 minutes to maneuver our way over to the actual building from how much people there were. There's a lot more people outside because of all the food trucks and everything like that. So we kind of did a little bit of a parkour Mission Impossible stunts going across the people to try to get into the actual art section, and there were some really great pieces of artwork this year. Here's a picture of Snoopy and Woodchuck in a dog fight, which was really cool. Really like that. A lot of Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss fan art as well, which I absolutely loved. There was a Jurassic Park Jeep with a plush Triceratops in the back, with Dennis Nedry being absolutely dead. And apparently, you could actually go inside of it. One of my friends, she actually went there, I'm pretty sure after we left. She took a picture inside the Jeep. And I was like, what? You could take a picture inside the Jeep? And she was like, yeah, you could just walk in there and just take a picture with Dennis Nedry. And I was like, bro, nobody told me anything. I didn't know you could do that because it was like kind of crossed off. So I was like, well, okay, missed out on that. But anyway, the overall art hall was really great. I spent a lot more time in the actual art hall than I did last year because I really have been getting into drawing and everything like that. Many of you may know personally or just seeing Instagram posts and everything that I do. So I'm really getting into the overall drawing and artwork. So I was spending a lot more time looking at everybody's art, talking to some artists as well, barely because there's so many people trying to look at everything. So I just had to have a quick conversation with some of them and then just kind of moseyed my way on to the next person and everything like that and just look at the cool stuff. But yeah, overall great pieces of artwork. So that was the overall Calgary Expo experience. But we went to, after we were done going to Calgary Expo, we decided to go for dinner at this Brazilian barbecue place. And my God, you have never ate anything in your life. You have never ate until you've been there. Like, I'm telling you, it's awesome. So basically how this place works is that you go in, you pay, obviously, you sit down, and instead of ordering off a menu like you usually would, they would bring you meats on these giant skewers with knives, and they would just sever off pieces of meat. And you would take your tongs and you put it on your plate. And that would pretty much be the end of it. They would rotate through different meats. There were sausages, there were ribs, there were drumsticks, there were chicken hearts. There were pretty much every kind of meat that you could possibly imagine. And it was a beautiful restaurant as well. Very gorgeous overall atmosphere. The waitresses and the servers were absolutely delight to talk to. We had quick conversations with them. They were overall just really nice people to see around. But man, there was this one dish that was absolutely amazing. You could order, separate things if you were like taking a break from all the meat and everything like that. You could order Caesar salads and everything like that. There was some fruit salad there as well that you could enjoy. But man, this one dish that everybody at our table were just dying for more. Basically what it was is that they would take slices of pineapple. They would not dry it out, but just kind of dry it just a tiny bit. There were still juices and everything like that. So they would take this hot syrup with cinnamon in it. They not like maple syrup where it's like actual just thick. It was just like a little bit of a watery hot syrup with cinnamon in it. And oh my God, it was actual ecstasy. You have no idea. If you're thinking of what it's tasting like, it's not what you're thinking at all. You literally have to go there and try it for yourself. It was an absolute delight. We had to wait after we paid for everything, we're about to leave. We're like, all right, we need to get one more slices of these pineapples before we leave. And everybody was like, all right, yeah, we're doing that. So we got our pineapple and we left, and then we absolutely passed out when we got home. Passed out. You have no idea. I ate so much meat, it was crazy. And just the amount of sweetness from the pineapple was just overwhelming. So I legit just passed out. But yeah, that was the overall Calgary Expo Year 2 recap. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this little video here. Anyway, because it was a crazy experience, meeting Perry Cullen and everything like that. But that's going to do it for me, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't care what you do, but you guys know what time it is. So, bye, guys.